Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I am going to continue with your same module, that is the research skills, and the same chapter, that is the chapter number 6, that is putting it into the practice. So whatever we have learned, so how to put into the practice, that is chapter number 6. In the last class we have started with chapter number 6 and we have finished the three stages, that is the planning, information retrieval, information processing. Today I am going to continue with the or start with the stage number 4, that is the information sharing. But before this, let's take a quick review what we have covered in the last class, so that we can compile or we can merge the same steps or same stages into the new stage, that is the information sharing, right? So let's start with the previous class session, that is what we have covered in the last class. So in the last class we have started with the stage 1 planning of the putting into the practice, that is how we can put into the practice the stage number 1, that is the planning. So to be effectively prepared for the information handling parts of a research activity, students must use many skills and strategies in the planning stage. This example demonstrates one strategy that can be used, that is how to use the strategy, what are the various strategies that is used in this one, that is the planning. This is one of the main part, this is one of the advanced part that is used in the research skills, that is stage number 1. So one of the advanced or one of the example is the brainstorming, that is a brainstorming, how we can plan out, that is a brainstorming method is very good method to plan out something, that is a brainstorming method. We have discussed about the various techniques that is used for the planning, so how we can plan out in the effective way, in a practical way. The first stage, that is the first part of the planning, is the brainstorming. That means gathering the information, gathering the opinion from different users, that is known as the brainstorming, that is discussing the one topic among the various persons, so that we can gain the knowledge, we can gain the different opinions, overview knowledge from the different persons. So it's an effective strategy that a student can use to establish a topic or to determine an information sources. So whatever the information source that is established by the brainstorming. Then we have discussed about the brainstorming strategies, that is what are the various strategies that is used with the brainstorming. The first is the oral strategy. That means orally the topic will be given and orally they are contributing themselves, that is what are the various issues, what are the various rules, regulations that is used with the various technology that is used in the brainstorming method. And this also uses, that is explain the purpose, procedure and the outcome of the brainstorming, that what is the main purpose, what is the main procedure and what is the main outcome of the brainstorming. This is the oral strategy, that is orally they are counting that yeah, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. Then what is the main purpose, to collect and create the ideas on a topic, problem or the issue, that is the main purpose. What is the main purpose, to collect the ideas. As I said, there are different ideas that is coming out, that is coming up with the help of the brainstorming strategies. Then next is the written strategy that is also used. So there is a written strategy that is also available. So all the members of the group work in a parallel instead of in a sequence by writing down as many ideas as they can think of on a given topic, problem or the issue. That is a written strategy. And the participants read what others have written and take time to reflect on the idea there. So the participant can read what others have written and take the time to reflect on the idea. That is how to get the ideas, what are the various ideas that is available. Take the time to get the idea without any inferences, so there is no interference of anyone, but they get the ideas, reflect the ideas, give the ideas. That is a written strategy. This is the procedure that is given for the written strategy. Then we have discussed about the stage number 2, that is the information retrieval. So for the planning purpose, there is only one, we can say, the technique that is used, that is a brainstorming technique that is used for the various strategies, that is used for the various content that is used in this one. So there is a brainstorming technique that is used with available resources, so that is a brainstorming. Then next stage is the stage number 2, that is the information retrieval, that is how to retrieve the information, that is the stage number 2. So there are multiple techniques to retrieve the information also. The first part is the interview. So take the interview, do the interview for the student, that is how to make the interviewing technique, that is the interviews, that is from the junior high education studies. So one of the method of retrieving the information is the interviews, and whenever use an interview format, student can talk to a number of people to ascertain public awareness and the opinions about the need and the desirability for the technological changes. That is, what are the various public awareness and what are the various opinion about the need and the desirability for the Technological changes. So what are the various technological changes that we consider the student, or we can say the government, to make the changes. Now, these are the some tips or that you must be kept in mind while getting for the interview, while ready for the interview. First of all, whenever you are conducting the interview, identify the purpose. That what is the main purpose of conducting the interview? Not else that you are only call the interviewees, take the interview. But what is the main purpose of the interview? That is the main target. Then, when contacting the persons to be interviewed, state clearly who you are, what's your purpose is, how long the interview will take, and what the format will be. That is, why you are conducting the interview, who you are, what's your position, what's your purpose, and how long the interview will take, and what the format should be. The place and the time is also convenient to the person. So it is very, we can say that keep in the mind that the place and the time for the interview is very convenient as per the interviewee. The next part is be a good listener. So that is the first part. That is the next part. Be a good listener. Don't that you are only asking the question, but please listen the answers also. Then ask brief question one at a time. So these are the various, we can say, the procedures, or we can say these are the various we can say the policies, or we can say the rules that is carried out, or some ideas that is kept in mind before taking the interview. Then after the interview, there is a field study that we study the field, that is a field study, that is an important part of an unit, and they can be used as an introduction, information source, or the culmination. And it is also important to use the field studies that has a purpose and provides a learning experience, because a field study entails leaving the school. So because the field study had various gains that have various field studies, there are always numerous details that must be taken care of. That is, there are must already the numerous details that is carrying out in the school. So there are numerous details that must be carried of, and below are the two planning stages that should be considered. So these are the two example of the planning stages, that is the stage of the field studies. The first is the pre-field study planning, that will show the adequate background knowledge, ideas and the objective that is developed, then the related material that is also used. So that is the pre-field study planning. So before planning out, there is the pre-field study. Then arrangement of the field study. So after making the arrangement before the study, now make the arrangement of the field study. That is, take care of the books, pen, pencils, projector, etc. This is one of the example of the student activities booklet. So that includes what services does our community have. Then find an example of people that is used in this one. So one is the interview, one is the field study. The next last or the third part is the retrieval chart. So this is also a chart that provides a quick organized method, or that provides a quick and organized information that is gathered in the table. So it provides a quick organized method of gathering or organizing data, and it is a mean to be brief and concise. So whatever information that is carried out, that is passed into the with the help of the retrieval chart, that must be identified, or that must be brief and the concise, so that the essential data are recorded. And it also allows to conduct an interview, or also allows to conduct a child with their capacities. This is one of the example. The next stage is the stage number 3, that is the information processing. So after retrieval, after planning, the next stage is stage number 3, that is the information processing. That is how to process the information in the practical approach. The first approach for processing the information is the reading tables, graphs, and the diagram. So read out the tables, the graphs, and the diagrams. So there are many skills that is required to read the tables, graphs, and the diagrams, and student needs instructions to develop their skills and to understand the graphics. Graphics needs to be carefully looked over, read, and interpreted on a regular basis. This means that the student need to see the table, chart, and the diagram. So they are the very, we can say, the very good picture, very good tool that is used for the information processing. So they are interpreted with the help of, or the information is processed with the help of the tools, with the help of the reading, with the help of the table, graphs, and the diagram, because they provide in a better way or a good better way, a greater variety than afforded by the limited members found in most of the checkboxes. The first part is reading the table. That is, what is the table? How we are using creating the table? What is the main title of the table? What are the column heading, side heading? That is the reading the table. Then next is the graph, that includes the bar, circle, line, picture, graph. Then diagrams. That what is the pictured in the diagram? That is, what is the picture that is displayed in the diagram? What is the location of the different parts? What are the relationships of the separate parts? What as the diagram has been including? So what is the diagram that is included in this one? Then next is the webbing, that is a mind map, that is an effective way of organizing the idea and the providing the overview or overall view of a subject or the issue. So if I want to get the sufficient, or we can say the efficient method or effective way of organizing the ideas and providing the overview, that can be done by the webbing, or we can say the mind mapping. So place the main idea in the center of the area being used. Place responses around the central idea. Colors, bubbles, arrow and wavy line can be used to highlight the significant information. So one is placing the main idea in the center, then place the responses in around the center, then colors, bubbles, arrows and wavy lines are used to highlight the significant information. This is one of the example. This is the example of the China, that includes the food, homes, tradition, transportation, clothing. And the transportation also includes three parts. Either they are using cars, aeroplanes or the bicycle. And this is also one of the category of the role of the government, that is also the webbing, that is we can see the parts of the webbing. The next is develop the research procedure, that is the next part, that is also covered in the information processing. So what are the various basic necessities that is used? That is the food, shelter, clothes, daily life, beliefs, keeping order, etc. Now when we apply these headings in the form of the spider, that is used with the various that is used with the major Eastern Canadian native groups at the time, and students can research a chosen native group using available resources individually or in group. Information gathered can be recorded on a spider report sheet. This is a spider report sheet. The content will be given over here and the spaces will be given over here. And using the information gathered on the spider report sheet, student can prepare and share their information. This is one of the example of the sample retriever chart or the bulletin board chart. These are the various techniques that is used. These are the homes, food, travel, clothing, daily life, beliefs, etc. Now next is information sharing. That is the next stage. That is how we can share the information, or how we can put practically, that is how we are sharing the information. So how do students share the information that they have gathered, shaped and analyzed? That is the first question. That is how students will share the information, whatever the information they have gathered, whatever the information they have shaped, whatever the information they have analyzed. So how they share the information, that is the main part. So the next part is the information sharing. That is how we can share the information, how we can put into the practice. That is how we can share the information among the student, among the teachers. So how do students share the information they have gathered, shaped and analyzed? So whatever the information they have gathered, whatever the information they have shaped, whatever the information they have analyzed, so how to share the information? That on paper is only way of sharing the information. That so that the only concept that is used for sharing the information is the paper. Teachers should encourage the students to develop a broad and creative repertoire of the presentation formats and the techniques. That is, student must encourage the students, or teacher must encourage the students to develop a broad and the creative presentation format for the information sharing, so that the student will share the information in an effective way, so that they develop the broad and the creative presentation formats and the techniques. This is one of the example that is given of the water. From where does water come? This is a space where it is located in the Alberta. How was the water used in the past? How is the water used? This is one of the example, that is how we can share the information by using the record sheet. So this is the example of the record sheet. We can record our opinion in the sheet, and that sheet will be passed to the various persons so that they also get the information. It provides the information on a water in a variety of ways using the resources available, for example, reading, picture, charts, guest lectures. So whatever the information we have collected using three stages, that is a planning, Then next is the information retrieval, then information processing. That information will be fetched up, will be get together, then prepare a record sheet for the information sharing. And on completion, as a class record information gathered on a large wall chart that will reflect the questions on the student record sheets. Then have a student add any additional information to their own record sheets. And when the information is collected, discuss way of sharing the information, example the written report. So these are the various example by which the information is shared and discussed in various forms. For example, the written reports, for example, audio tapes, illustrations, collects, cartoons, murals, pictures, maps, etc. This is one of the example that we are going to discuss in a various way, that is going to discuss how we can share the information. And have each student present information that answers one of the question, that is research using the research activity. This is one of the way by which we can share the information, by getting the or by maintaining the record sheet. The sheet will be maintained and the records will be entered in that sheet. Then the next method that is used is the display boards. So divide the class into pairs or the small groups. So divide the whole class into the small groups, so that each group can prepare the display board, can maintain the display board. So divide the class into pair or small groups. Have students choose a natural resource, either renewable or non-renewable, for an in-depth case study. Students are encouraged to use a variety of methods to present their information. That is how to present the information, that is a display board. So there is a display board that is available over here, that is used to give the information, that is a display board, and students are encouraged to use a variety of methods to present their information. This is a mining method, the form of the formation of the coal. This is the coal, then percentage users, then how the coal will be transported, then the men who mine the coal, how was the coal formed, then where is the coal found in the Alberta. Then next is the material use. So whatever the material that is used, that is the material used. Then that includes the pizza box or the code box. So that is the pizza or the code box is available for gathering the information. That includes the water gathered information that is used over here. Then the crossword puzzle, game, true or false question. These are the various activity how we can get the information. So this is a display board, how we will display on the board, so that every information is represented in an effective way, that is a display board. Then the next part is the next method. So one is a report sheet, then display board. Next method is a debate. That is the next method that is used, that is a debating. So debating is also formal than the discussion. So whatever we have discussed, this is very formal approach that is used, that is a debating. So use the debate for the convenience of the teachers, for the convenience of the teachers or the students. Then the next part of the information sharing is the debating, that is how we can use the debating. So we have discussed about the report sheet, we have discussed about the display board. Next part is the debating. So it is more formal than the discussion. That means provide the debate, or different students provide the debate on the topic, then it is more formal than the discussion. It is a contest between the two teams who test their skills in argument to win the audience support. That means two teams are gathered and two teams are contribute their skills or test their skills or give their ideas, and it's the opinions of the audience to either gain their skills, so to test their skills in argument to win the audience support. So this is the responsibility of the, or this is the audience behavior that uses the debate in terms of the audience report or support. So debating follows the rules of the procedure, that is whatever the rule that is used, so this follows the rules of the procedure. Then next is the characteristics, that what are the various characteristics of the debating. So first is it is competitive. So first part, that is it is a competitive. Competition must be placed or takes place or must takes place when debating takes place, because debating means whatever you follow, whatever you use the rule, that is a debating. That so it is very competitive in nature in the market. Then it requires that the participants take a position, either affirmative or negative, which cannot be changed. That is, the participant takes a position in debating, whether the first position, second position, third position, and which cannot be changed. And it is more formal than the discussion and follows the rules of the procedure. So debating is more formal than the discussion type and also follows the rules of the procedure. So whatever the rule that is followed, that is followed by the in the debating. And what is the main objective? So the main objective is start with the proposal. So proposal will be given. So starting with the proposal, make the best case of it or make the best case for it, then win the approval for that side. So these are the three main objectives that will be taken out in the debating. So first is start with the procedure, that what is the start with the proposal, that what is the main proposal, then make the best case for it, then win the approval for that side. So first of all start with the proposal, then make the best case, then take the approval for this side. Then style is the argumentative and the persuasive. So whatever the style that is used, that is the argumentative and the persuasive. Now what are the various rules that is used? The first is the rule from the subject side, that is it must have the two sides. So whatever the subject that is taken, so these have two sides, both of which capable of being argued. That means if any statement is given that has two sides, that has two faces, that are two parts, in favor and in not favor, there are two sides of the one statement that is used in the debate, and to avoid the confusion it must be worded positively. That means to avoid the confusion it must be worded, so it must be used, it must be explained in a positive way, not negative way. So whatever the content that is given, it must be used in a positive way, not in the negative way, and it should be stated clearly and briefly. So whatever the content that is given, whatever the subject that is given, that must be clear in the minds of each and every person, because that is the main topic, that is the main subject. Unless and until you are not clear about the subject, how will you give the favor or not in the favor? So first of all make the subject or make the content as clear and brief. Then next, what are the rules from the debater side? The side that supports the subject is known as a affirmative, the side that does not, that is known as a negative. So it depends on the person to person, whether you are in the positive direction, that is whether you are in the subject that supports the subject, that is the affirmative, whether you are in the opposite of the subject, that is the negative. And each team should prepare its argument carefully, decides what point has to be covered by each speaker, consult the books, prepare the notes of the cards, and anticipate the opponent's view. So whatever the opponent's view, that must be carried out. So it must be arguments carefully, decides what points are being covered by each other. So whatever the discussion that is taken out, so that is taken out among the debaters. Then each debater's speech should be a good example of the sound argument. That means whatever the speech that is given by the debater, that is must be of the loud voice. So there should be a must be or loud voice among the debater's side. And it is better practice to establish 4 or 5 solid points to list a catalog of points. The next point says each team should prepare its arguments carefully, decide what points to be covered. So every team that is taken care of, so each point or each team must be or should prepare its arguments carefully, decides what point has to be covered by each speaker, consult the books, prepare the notes or the cards, and anticipate the opponent's view. So every team should prepare its arguments, whether in the favor, whether in the opposition. So each team should prepare its arguments carefully and decides what point to be covered by each speaker, consult books, prepare notes, whatever they are want, but they make their notes very brief, but they make their arguments very brief and carefully. Then each debater's speech should be a good example of the sound argument. That means whatever the speech, whatever the debate, whatever the content that is given, that is a good example of the sound argument. And it is a better practice to establish 4 or 5 solid points than to list a catalog of points. So instead of giving the approach, instead of giving the full-fledged paragraph or the speech, it's better to give or establish 4 to 5 solid points that contribute into the favor or in against of the topic. Then what is the procedure? The chairman announces a topic. So whatever the leader that is available that announce a topic, introduce the speaker, that these are the speaker, he is coming from Gurgaon, he is coming from India, he is coming from Nigeria, whatever their introduction, and explain the time limit and announce the judge's decisions. What is the time limit in which you are going to speak? That is the time limit is 4 minutes, that is you are going to speak, that is the time limit, and announce the judge's decision. Then second point is The debaters speak in this order, that is the first affirmative, then first negative, then second affirmative, then second negative. So these are the four parts by which the debaters speak in the order, that is the first affirmative, then first negative, then second affirmative, second negative. And the speakers for the affirmative makes a rebuttal. So whatever the rebuttal that is used, that is the procedure that is followed, that follows for the rebuttal. Then next is the judgment. So the decision is given to the side that has more accurately, efficiently presented and refuted the argument. So whatever the argument that is given, they are giving the sides or giving the judgment that is more efficiently, effective, presented and refuted the argument. That is the judgment part. So this is one of the example of the debates, that is how we are using the debates, what are the various tools, what are the various characteristics of the debates. Now the next part is or the next category of the information sharing after the debate is the oral presentation of the speech. So we can also take the oral presentation, or this is also one of the example of taking the opinion information sharing, that is the oral presentation. So student or the any employee or the teacher should give the oral presentation or the speech among themselves, and each one get the idea from the oral presentation or the speech. So oral presentations and the speech follow a similar procedure to the writing, as in the pre-writing stage, research and the organizing information and necessary steps that precedes a speaking task. So whatever the task that is used, so that task must use by the oral presentations and the speech. And whatever the steps that is necessary for effective speaking are. So first is preparing an oral presentation. So first step that is used for the effective speaking is, so first of all, that is preparing an oral presentation. So you must prepare that there is a proper or there is a oral presentation of the speech. That includes select a topic, that is what is the main topic on which you give the presentation, then carry out the research, then make an outline, that is organize the information, then make the notes, that is important points to cover. So this is one of the important, that you should cover the most important point, not that every point you should involve, no, but you should cover, or you at least must cover all the important point, that is make notes of it. Then practicize, that is a practice all the concept that is used, that is a part of the oral presentation or the speech. And that is know the topic and the sequence, plan effective and the interesting opening, practice often and in front of other who can offer the constructive way by which they are constructive criticism. This is one of the part, that is preparing an oral presentation, that is a step that is used for the effective speaking. The next stage that is available, that is the second, that speak clearly and distinctly. Suppose I taught you one subject or one topic, and if there is lack of the understanding, if there is a lack of the grammatical error, or if there is a grammatical error, so what's the problem? You are not able to understand what I'm trying to say. So that must be clear, or the lesson that must be delivered to you, that must be clear, that is the main part. So speak clearly and distinctly. The time, the length of the report, that includes, so whatever you speak, that must be clear and distinct, and that includes the time, the length of the report, that must be clear, that must be speak what is the main what is the length, what is the time that is given. Then enunciate clearly and crisply, that means enunciate, that is we can say deliver in a polite manner, in a crispy manner, so that everyone can understand what you are trying to say. Then pronunciation is very important. Suppose I give you a topic, or I give you a lecture, and my pronunciation is not clear to you, then you what sir, can you explain me again, can you I can't hear you. So these are the various words if my pronunciation is not correct. So pronunciation is very important in the oral presentation. Then audibility, volume and pitch are the important qualities. That means that sound must be audible. That's why I ask sometime to you, is that audible to you? I'm audible to you, are you able to listen me? So that means audibility is very important in the case of the oral presentations. Then volume and the pitch, whatever the content, that is we will, or the presenter will adjust their voice as per their topic. For example, if there is a important topic, then I said, yeah, please listen carefully, this is important topic, that my volume automatically increases. And pitch is also increased, that is the pitch are very important quality. There are three qualities that is very important, that is the audibility, volume and the pitch. The next is a variety, whether I could use a monotonous pattern, that is this is okay, I will use this one, this is how you will use this one, that is a monotonous voice. Or either you can use the very voice, that is a good voice, we can say the energetic voice. Then speed, slowly rather than that quickly. If I explain you that this is the concept that is used for this one, this one, this one, you are not able to understand each and everything. So speed is very important concept or important quality or constraint that is used with the oral presentations. Next is correct the sentence structure, that is whatever the sentence structure that is available. So correct that current structure or content structure that is used sentence structure. So that means you are forming the sentence carefully while delivering or while using the oral presentation. So the next point, that is the next point, that is the delivery. So the first point, that is prepare an oral presentation or the speech. Then second point is speak clearly and distinctly. Then the third point is delivery, that is how you deliver the content, that is the delivery part. So that includes look at the audience. So first of all, before the delivery, look at the audience, that what is the audience behavior, what is the audience age group, what are their background. So first of all, look at the audience, that is establish the eye contact among the audience for giving the oral presentations. Then start slowly, that is means start slowly, don't that you directly jump to the main topic, no. Start slowly, then cover slowly content slide. Then next is aim voice at someone at back of the room, that means aim voice at someone, that means your voice must be clear to the backbenchers also, that the back of the room. So whatever the person or whosoever the person that is available at the back of the room, your voice must be audible to that person. So your aim must be that your voice must be audible to the someone that is available at the back of the room, right? Then good posture, relaxed stand. Then don't that you get nervous, relax, starts shivering. No, there is no shivering among you. You must be relaxed. Your posture would be good. That is a good posture. So that is a good posture and the relaxed stance. Then avoid the mannerism that may distract, that means pacing, hand movement. So there is no more hand movement, there is no pacing, that you are jumping from one place to another, no. So avoid the mannerism that may distract. Then use the enthusiasm, confidence to avoid the or to control the attention. So whatever the intention that is given, so you must use the enthusiasm, you must use the confidence to control the attention. So whatever the attention that is given, you must control them, that is how to use them. So you must control what is the various confidence, enthusiasm to control the attention. So that is the delivery part. Your delivery must be good, your delivery must be accurate. So first of all, look at the audience, then start slowly, then aim to the voice at the someone at back of the room. That means your voice is audible to each and everyone in the room. Then the good posture and the relaxed stance. Then avoid the mannerism, that you should not use more hands for explaining something. So avoid the mannerism that may distract. Then use the enthusiasm, confidence to control the attention. So use the enthusiasm, that how do you do this, and confidence to control the attention, that is the main part, right? Now next stage is the stage number 5, that is the evaluation, that I'm going to cover in the next class, because there is no student available in the today's class. So how I can teach you the new topic, that is evaluation. So that's all for today's session. We will wind up this class over here only. In the next class, that is in the tomorrow's class, I am taking the next stage, that is stage number 5, that is the evaluation. So that's all for today's session. And if there is any doubts, you can ask the doubts from me regarding any topic, any chapter that is available, that is from chapter 1 to 5. So in the next